Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today at this free training Friday for Amicus Attorney. My name is Kaylee White. I am a marketing coordinator at Amicus Next. Today we have with us Andrew Cummins. He is a product manager for Amicus Attorney based out of our Toronto office. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the newest features of Amicus Attorney, what you can expect, all the great new things that you can do with the product. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Andrew.
Perfect. Thanks very much. Okay, my name is Andrew, and I'm thrilled today to be able to talk about sort of a sneak peek of what's in the next version of Amicus Attorney. I've got a couple of slides to go through, but I hope to mostly demonstrate the product. If you do have any questions, please feel free to use the question option in the GoToMeeting dashboard, and you can pose your questions. We'll have time at the end of the session to answer any questions that you have. Okay, so let's just jump in pretty quickly here. This is an opportunity to have a bit of a sneak peek. We have a version of Amicus Attorney coming very soon that has some awesome new features in it, and we're just crossing some T's and dotting some I's. So stay tuned for an announcement for the release date, but at least you'll get a preview of what is coming up. So quick little agenda here, just focusing on essentially the new features. And as I said, please ask your questions during the session. We'll be happy to answer those at the end. Okay, so let's quickly take a look at the key features and functionality that we're adding into the latest version of Amicus Attorney. Right off the top, you'll notice we have Abacus Payment Exchange, or APX as we call it, and that is the introduction of credit card and electronic payment processing inside of Amicus Attorney. There is a follow-up webinar in 2 weeks' time on Friday, 2 weeks from now, where you can learn more about APX. We'll dive in a little bit today, but come back in 2 weeks for a full overview. The next really exciting one is a new mobile app. So the idea that you actually can take your practice in your pocket and have access to wherever you want. We're going to give you a quick overview of that. But if you come back next week, you'll be able to see a complete overview of the app itself. We're awfully excited about that. Next thing we're going to talk about is improved document management. So this is key. We've made some really big improvements to make it easier to take advantage of the Amicus managed documents, as well as some really cool features to access those documents and view them on your client files. We've also responded to requests. We've added new billing security profiles so you can really lock down what your billing users can see and do. We've also made some great email enhancements, so updated look and feel of your email messages and given you some more options. Some great new tools for task filtering, and then we'll also demonstrate a little bit some improvements in Amicus Anywhere, where we can actually really update that to add some new great modern conveniences. So the first one we want to talk about here in some detail is Abacus Payment Exchange. So what is this? This is essentially introducing electronic payment processing, and that is credit card as well as e-check or ACH transactions right into Amicus Attorney. The idea is it's all about getting paid quickly, and also it's really about payments made easy. So you can see from my slide here, it's not a lot of detail in that it's a really simple sign up. So we're going to show you how, as an administrator, you can sign up for APX and begin using it. But really, it's also a matter of simple pricing. So there are other credit card payment processors out there. Obviously, they don't link directly with Amicus Attorney, which is a great advantage. But some of their pricing schemes are fairly complicated. Ours is really straightforward. There's no contracts to sign, no monthly fees, no per transaction fees. It doesn't matter if you're using premium rewards cards. For your transactions, it's simply 3% on any credit card transactions and 0% on ACH or e-check transactions. This allows you to collect payments to your operating and trust accounts, as well as, therefore, trust receipts. At the end of the day, it's all about getting paid very quickly. So really, one, we're making it easier for you to collect from your clients, and then two, because this is a great new modern platform, we're able to make sure that those funds are deposited into your account as quickly as same day or next day. So you really do see a quick turnaround on collecting your money. So very quickly, I want to jump in and actually take a look at how, as an administrator, you can go and sign up, or at least start the sign up process. You'll want to come back in 2 weeks' time for the full webinar to learn even more. But what you're seeing on your screen right now is we're in Lucy's office, And if she, as an administrator, would go to firm settings, under the billing section, she has an option for Amicus Payment Exchange. And simply clicking that brings up a window, and all she has to do is press Learn More, Enroll, and she can sign up. So I'll just show you the first sort of screen here. We're not going to walk through the entire wizard. What does set Amicus or Amicus Payment Exchange apart is that it's integrated directly inside of Amicus Attorney. So you're not sort of filling out a form on a website and hoping somebody calls you back in a couple days. You're actually going and signing up for it right from within Amicus Attorney. There's basically 3 panes of information we're going to ask for. You're going to press the submit option, and we're actually starting that underwriting process right then and there. And as quickly as the next day, you can actually start processing it. So really easy to go and sign up for it, and it's all integrated right inside of Amicus Attorney itself. I'm not going to sort of show too much, but what I did want to also demonstrate was the idea of how we can go, press the wrong one, how we can go and actually record a payment. So this is the idea of now, as long as you're using the billing capabilities in Amicus Attorney, you can now go and process those credit card and e-check transactions. So if we quickly go over in my demo environment here, just go to billing, go to files, and we can see we've got our Bailey Rekipling file that we have $800 of AR. If we choose receive payment, then right on the payment form itself, you'll notice there's now some drop-down menus for method, and you can choose to have that as a credit card payment or an ACH payment. And selecting that then displays the various payment methods. If we've already gone and stored credit cards for our client, Janet Bailey, we can see those here. Or she can simply click onto the Add button, and this is where we can go and fill in new credit card or bank account information if we wanted to have the payment received via ACH. So very easy to go and collect that information. Importantly, at the bottom, you can then also choose to have receipts sent out to the client, so that's for any transaction, whether it's the payment, a void or refund even, they would be notified via email of that transaction. We'll give an amount here, and then at the bottom, just click Pay Now, and we're asked to make sure we want to agree to this charge. We'll say yes, and just like that, the payment itself has been processed, and we've now the money will be deducted from the client's credit card and deposited right to your operating account. With trust transactions, it's also important to appreciate that for any fees associated with trust transactions would always come out of the operating account, such that your trust transaction does remain whole, and therefore you do receive the full funds from your client. Okay, so let's just jump back to the PowerPoint for a second. And the next thing I want to talk about here quickly is our mobile app. And this is something we're awfully excited about, and this is a big push for the entire company, and that is the introduction of a mobile app for your Amicus Attorney. So we're going to jump in and take a very quick demo, but again, come back next week for a full one. The idea here is you've got the ability to download an app from the App Store for iOS devices or for Google Play for Android, and you can then have access to your client files, your time entries, phone calls, notes, and really take your practice with you in your pocket. The idea is we also are able to prompt you to make sure you do your time entries, so you're never missing time entry, and you're also able to work offline, so that if you're on the subway or in an airplane, you can still continue to work away, and then when you're back, you're connected again, those changes would be synchronized. So very quickly, we're just going to go and choose to show my screen here. And so what you're actually seeing is an iPhone that I've actually got in my hand here. And we're going to very quickly just sort of look at some of the key features of it. So the idea is we've got a list of our recent client files. And these are files, so this is not my entire Amicus Attorney file list, but these are ones that have had activity done on them recently, whether that's a time entry, a phone call, a note. The idea is I can quickly access those. Of course, I can just choose to search for one if I wanted to look for ones that aren't already on the device. But if I were to now open up one of those matters, I've opened up Bailey Rekipling, I can see the basic details of the matter itself. And then I can also see I've got the primary client and a little the icon for an email or a phone call or phone. and I can click onto that phone, and it brings the ability to quickly make a phone call. I can, of course, also actually drill down, so click onto Janet Bailey herself, and I can see then any of the phone numbers that we've recorded for Janet, as well as her email address. Now let's quickly do a common workflow, and that is that I want to make a phone call to Janet Bailey. So I'm just going to click on the little phone icon. It's going to ask me to make a call, so I'll say to call that number. That's not a real number, so we're just going to hang up on that one. And what you'll notice is we're then prompted to, it knows that we spent a lot of time on that time entry or on that phone call. Did we want to record the details of it? So we'll say, we'll go to the option to click yes here. We'll say yes. We can now go and quickly record the details of that phone call. We've got the duration and our description filled in for us. We can make whatever changes we want, or just simply click done up at the very top. And the phone call itself has been recorded. This is the really cool part too, is that now we can make sure that we record the time we spent on that so that we've got a time entry. So we'll just choose the option to, yes, we do want to create a time entry for this phone call. We'll bring it up, and the time entry itself has been filled out for us. We can put in an activity code or task code as necessary and make more changes if we want, or just go up to the top and click done. And just like that, we've quickly made our phone call to Janet, and we've also gone and recorded the, have a record of that phone call, and then also have the time entry created. So if we quickly go back to the navigation, again, we were just in the files. If we go into time entries, we can see here our recent time entries, so the one we just made for our phone call, as well as other ones that have been recorded. And we can use the filters to decide how far back we want to see that. If we go back and instead want to go look at phone calls, we can see there we've just made some calls here, but it could also record incoming calls that are appropriate that I need to have access to. And then notes is also another great spot. So very easy to quickly add your notes in on your mobile device and add them to a file so that they're accessible back in Amicus Attorney to any of the other users. So again, this is incredibly exciting for us to now release a mobile app for all of our Amicus Attorney users. And so stay tuned for that as well, but it will be available in both the App Store for iOS and in Google Play for your Android devices. So again, come on back next week and we can dive in a little bit more to see that in some more detail. Okay, so let's that was a quick overview of the mobile app. So let's move right along to what's next, and that is some really cool changes to document management. And the idea here is Amicus Attorney actually has a couple different ways you can manage your documents. One we call user managed, and the other is Amicus managed. And basically we've created a new wizard to make it easier to turn on Amicus managed, and that is really because we believe most of our users should take advantage of that because it has some great capabilities that don't exist out of the box, and that is the ability to have version control, so you can actually have keep track of any of the versions that if you've made changes to documents, you can go and see all of the versions that existed. You're also able to lock down control so that when you're editing a document, you can choose to check that out so that your changes aren't overwritten. And so really we're trying to encourage users to go to Amicus Managed. And as a part of that, we've also introduced the ability to see folder views across all of your document or all of your matters in Amicus Attorney in Amicus Managed. And it's pretty exciting how we can do some mass imports of folders and such, and we'll show you that as well. And then, yeah, sort of my last bullet was talking about the versioning, and again, that's the thing that sets Amicus Managed apart, is that really, as a law firm, you're able to lock down where documents are stored so that they're always accessible. They don't happen to be stored on someone's local machine that when it's turned off on when they're out of the office on Fridays, that it's somehow not accessible. With Amicus Managed, you're able to make sure that they're always accessible. So let's quickly jump into Amicus Attorney and take a look at what we're talking about here. So we're now just in as Bobby Donnell, and because he's an administrator, he has access to some settings here under Administration. He would go to Firm Settings, and then under Documents, there's the Document Management options. And this is where the new wizard is actually launched from. So simply clicking onto the configure allows you to walk through, and I've already turned this over to Amicus Managed, but the idea is that allows you to go between the various settings itself. So it's really easy to go in and do that. and make sure all of your documents are saved to the central repository. So let's look at an actual file so we can see, well, what does that actually mean when we have Amicus managed? So we'll go into Bailey Reed Kipling, I think is a good example here, and take a look at the documents that are associated with that. So we've moved over to Amicus managed, and under documents, we still have our my documents, all documents, and if I had other document categories, I would see those filters here. But you'll notice the top one is document folders. And that is that we've actually added a folder view, so any of the documents that you see under My Documents or All Documents, you can actually see those in a complete folder view. And that's because that's what most people are familiar with, and they know that, yes, it's a PDF or a Word document that I was working on. And so we've really added some very cool functionality to how we can go and see our documents, drill down. It does mean that, unlike in Amicus Managed, every document you add, whether you're dragging it into the folder view or choose to import, it does have its own document profile so that you can go in when you look at the individual document, you can put a summary on it, you can associate it with the appropriate file and people, and even events and notes. So the idea is each and every one of your documents has a nice profile about it so that you can keep track of it, and of course then do time entries for it as well. So if we just close out of that quickly, we go to the Add drop-down menu here. You can now see we can add document. We can also add individual folders. So we can just go and add folder. We just added a new folder here. But the really cool thing is the ability to import a whole bunch of folders. So folder import allows us to go and find a location wherever we happen to be. And I'm going to go bring in a whole bunch of other ones that are maybe under Cooperman. Maybe that example, we'll go under Gallagher, and we can choose to import those documents right into, and so we've now got a folder here that's brought in for Gallagher, and if I drill down into that, I can then also see all of the other, oops, I'll just double click on that. I can see all the documents there, and of course using the breadcrumbs up at the top, I can move back and forth. But again, because these are documents that are now stored in Amicus Attorney in the central repository, they each have their own document details. They can each have the check out option and the ability to view, but it really does give you some much better control over how you manage your documents. And we're really excited about the capabilities of the folder view that we've added here for Amicus Managed, because the reality was that in the past with Amicus Managed, you couldn't see your folders. So even if you had linked a number of folders to your various client files, they would not be visible in Amicus Managed. So we've certainly resolved that and gone one step further and really made it a hugely powerful tool to bring your documents in and then easily filter through and view them on your client files. So that's a really quick overview of some changes to documents. So we're just going to go back over to the PowerPoint for a second, and let's take a look at the next section here. So I'm running low on time, so we're going to be pretty quick here. The next one is billing security profiles, and this is just essentially in response to customer needs, is we've gone and added options to really lock down the views and controls for your billing users. So as an administrator, I can go into user management, and a couple different ways I can do it, but from right-click on a user here, I can set, I've always been able to set attorney security profiles, but now I can also set billing security profiles. So I've got no access, means they don't have access to billing whatsoever. A billing user means they can do some basic functionality, and a billing administrator means that they have full access to all of the billing controls. So we can also do that from the admin profile. We can choose to set a billing security profile from here too. So really very powerful. And if we quickly go into security profiles, so again, as an admin with rights to to edit security profiles, I can now see an option at the top for billing profiles, and I can then choose to restrict or grant access to various elements related to billing. So this is just in response to the growing number of billing users just looking to lock down what people can actually access. Okay, so we're going to move right along here. The next section is email enhancements, and this is we're pretty excited about too. The updated look and feel for your messages. Really, we've improved how you can go and resize. It's resizing the entire thing, not just the note or the body itself. And we've also made it easier to add events to your emails. We've also improved some task filtering options. So let's quickly jump in and go to communications. And if we go to all, I've got an email from, here we go. I've got an email from Heather, and if we open that one up, you'll notice that it certainly has an updated look and feel to it. We can click more to see other options here. This is something new where we can go and click the events option to go and link this email message to an event. And then, of course, if we wanted to just make this bigger, the entire dialog is getting bigger, and you're able to take advantage of whatever size screen you want. So some great improvements to email functionality within the program. Another quick one I want to take a look at, and then we'll jump into some Amicus Anywhere, is just some new filtering options. If you're in your events list on a file, this is especially useful if you're generating a lot of your tasks or to-dos and appointments based on precedents that have sort of pending things. You've now got the ability to see my active to-dos as well as all file active to-dos, and it's something that we think is going to add some easier access to just see what you need to do next, as opposed to seeing things that are waiting for other tasks to be completed before they get scheduled and added to your list. So some great improvements there too. Okay, and then we'll jump very quickly back to the PowerPoint, and the last sort of slide I wanted to talk about was some Amicus Anywhere improvements, and this is really powerful with dynamic resizing, so we can take advantage of all of the screen real estate. Continuous scrolling means we've done away with pagination, and resizable client files means that, gone to the wrong one, that you can really, again, see everything that, more details about your client files. So we'll quickly go to Amicus Anywhere. We're logged in as Bobby Donnell. One thing to notice right off the bat is that we're taking up the entire screen. So if we were to shrink that down, it of course dynamically resizes. Not great on the home screen, but of course that much better on the file list or where you've got a lot of details, and you can easily move that around and it dynamically resizes. Ultimately, it's about making sure that you can take advantage of your entire screen real estate. And then the other part that's great is we've done away with the need to click next page, or essentially pagination has been done away with. We've got modern continuous scrolling. So this isn't that long of a list, so it's not going to take very long to scroll through. But the idea is you can just use your wheel on your mouse or grab the scroll and jump down to whatever you want to see. So huge to improve the general usability within Amicus Anywhere. And the last section I wanted to jump into was on a client file in Amicus Anywhere. We've now added the ability to maximize. So again, we can take up your full screen real estate. So whether that's across your appointments or tasks or something like documents where you needed to see more details of your the title, but also with custom pages, you can now take up the entire screen and take advantage of that additional real estate there. So we're pretty excited about these changes too. And of course, in addition to these features I've shown off, there's an awful lot of performance improvements and fixes as requested by users like all of you. So that was a really quick overview of it. I would encourage you all to join us next Friday for the webinar on the mobile app, the following Friday for a webinar which digs in more on APX, that's Abacus Payment Exchange, because I think it's really going to make your life easier and help you with your collections. So I do want to thank everyone who participated, everyone for taking the time out to listen to me today, and we'd love to open it up to some questions. So thanks very much, everyone.
Thanks so much, Andrew. What a great explanation of all the wonderful things to come. So our first question is, how will the mobile app work with incoming calls?
Sure. Yeah, great question. So the mobile app itself does not obviously have all the same functionality within your that you're accustomed to in Amicus Attorney. It's great for quickly handling your outgoing calls. Incoming ones are not automatically timed within the mobile app, but it's quick. It's very easy for you. You can just click the plus sign, and once you've gotten off the call, you can go and record the details of that. So that part is not yet automated, but again, this is our first version of the mobile app for Amicus Attorney. And the beauty of mobile apps is that we can pump out regular updates to add features and functionality to them. And it's simply a matter of once it's released, you'll be able to download that from the App Store or Google Play.
Next question has to do with credit card processing.
Sure.
Will clients be able to pay via the portal or through a link in the bill that was emailed to them?
Sure, that's a great question. That within the initial release here in Amicus Attorney, we don't yet have the functionality for the client portal, but that is something that is coming soon, that we are actively working on. And you're right, that'll add some self-service options. Presently, it is more lawyer-facing, or it's the law firm can take the credit card information and record that payment. But stay tuned for some exciting new features coming out after the initial launch as well.
Another question comes from Jonathan. Are we now able to receive and add Outlook event or calendar invites via email?
Not totally sure what we mean, but we'll take that offline. I'll happy to reach out to you, Jonathan, afterwards, and not sure I understand exactly what we're looking for, but let's chat afterwards, and we can figure that one out.
Does the Amicus mobile app require a separate module subscription?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the mobile app itself does necessitate that your firm has set up the Amicus Anywhere capabilities such that your firm is connected, can be accessed essentially from the outside world. And yes, there is actually a separate price or cost for the mobile app that we can talk about in some more detail next week in the webinar as well.
Seth wants to know, our firm does not bill by the hour. On the app, will we be able to turn off the time entry prompt on the app? For example, after a call, like how we can on the desktop version? Yeah,
that's a great question. That presently it is set to prompt, and the preference is not related to the setting in Amicus Attorney, but that's great suggestion. And it's something that I'll put down for an update after the release here as well.
We still have a couple more minutes, so if anybody has any more questions, we'd gladly like to answer them.
Sure.
Well, I hope here's another one. How does new document folder interface with Dropbox?
Sure. The document folders don't show your Dropbox documents. That it is a bit different in that the Dropbox documents are stored in Dropbox, and Amicus is sort of aware of them. Whereas for the folder view, we wouldn't see those same Dropbox documents there. Good question.
Will the new version fix the billing issue where emailed bills are not printed?
I don't off the top of my head know all of the fixes in it. I'm certainly happy to reach out to you afterwards, and certainly when we do release, in addition to listing and sort of highlighting all of the features, there is also a comprehensive list of the various fixes we've included in it. But I'm happy to connect with you offline, and we can I can better understand the issue that you mean, and whether it's been addressed or how we can get it addressed promptly.
Yes, and as a reminder, we will send a recording of this webinar, and we will also check all those questions that we didn't get to, and we will respond to those as well. So we'll take one more. So the only documents viewed on the mobile app are Word doc and PDF?
Yeah, so on the mobile app itself, that we aren't showing your documents. So you can see your client files and basic contact details of those files, but the documents themselves are not displayed on the mobile app. I think you maybe saw notes, and that was the idea of any notes that you've associated, or unassociated notes too, are visible, but documents themselves are not presently accessible in the mobile app. Within Amicus, anywhere that we looked at, of course, you can access your documents from there.
Okay, and let's do one more question. This one comes
Sure.
from Andrew. Is there a storage limit?
I think you mean in regards to your documents within Amicus Managed, and no, that really the sky is the limit for that. That ultimately it's better for the firm to have the assurance that everything is in a central location. So if it's an on-premise, then it is essentially, I mean, because they're stored as a part of on the Amicus server, that there would be to whatever your hard drive can support, but no, not as there's no limit for that within Amicus Attorney itself.
All right, well, thank you so much, Andrew, for being our host of today's Free Training Friday for Amicus Attorney. We're really glad that everyone came today, and please do be on the lookout for the link to the recording of this webinar, as well as you can always check the Amicus Next blog, where we put up the videos and as well as a transcription.
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot, everyone.
Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Bye-bye.